Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new series on my channel. I'm back with Stellaris, the version 2.0, the Cherryh patch, which I have heard is the biggest change ever made to a Paradox game, or the single biggest change ever made to a Paradox game. Basically, Stellaris has completely changed and is kind of a new iteration. Yeah, obviously that should warrant a new series, and it's not just the patch that is going to be new to me. It's also obviously the newest expansion, Apocalypse. But I have basically not touched Stellaris since its release. So there's been several other smaller patches that have obviously changed the game, and there's been some more expansions. The Synthetic Dawn, Synthetic Dawn, is that how you say it? Yeah. There is the Utopia expansion. There's been the Leviathan story pack, and yeah, all of these DLCs and whatnot have helped shape the game, and I'm really pumped to check out all the new features, or all the features that are going to be new to me anyways. So yeah, I think we're just gonna hop in, create a new nation. Now I wouldn't normally show this to you, but I remember when I first started off Stellaris and I played as the Order of Spores, I actually had a lot of people requesting that I show them the nation creation. And so if you don't want to see that, you can obviously just skip it, but if you are interested, well, here you go. So we're gonna start a new game, and I want to create a new nation. Now, this is not going to be just a random empire. It's actually going to be one that will be based on one of my previous series. So I have, for a long time now, had my Byzantium series going on. This is one I started off in CK2, then ported over to EO4, then even continued on in Victoria 2, and I actually meant to continue it in Hearts of Iron 4 as well, but unfortunately that was not possible, and it's always been my plan to bring it all the way to Stellaris. So the only problem, or the only thing we're really missing right now, is kind of how Earth has unified under the Roman Empire. So that's a little bit of a shame, but I don't think it should hold us back from continuing here in Stellaris. So, yeah, without much further ado, I'm going to create our nation here. I think the first thing is pretty obvious. We are going to be humanoid. There's no doubt about this. I like the dwarves here, or sort of dwarven people. That's kind of funny. But yeah, no, of course, we are going to be humans, and yeah, let's not spend too much time here. So our species are well, we are human, right? And then, so our plural should be humans, and yeah, let's just go with human. I'm not going to write out a biography here because, as I said, we're kind of missing the Hearts of Iron 4 part, but other than that, the entire, well, our entire history is, well, can be seen in the previous playlist. I will actually link them in the description. So, as I said, there's going to be one for CK2, there's going to be one for Europa Universalis 4, and one for Victoria 2. So, if you're interested, I highly recommend you guys check it out. I will be mentioning a few of these things, a few of the things I've done in these series throughout this series. So if you want to know more about the background stories there, definitely check it out. And definitely also check out the comment section, because a lot of the people who have been watching at the time have left some amazing comments, sometimes roleplays, sometimes summaries of what's been happening, and that really helps flesh out what's happening, or what has happened in this series. So yeah, anyways, let's move on. So we are obviously humans, we've established this now, and for the ship prefix, I'm actually gonna switch. You know what? Let's go and create the empire name. I've kind of talked about it already, but this will be the continuation as the Roman Empire. Now, I could just leave it as Roman Empire, but since this is Stellaris, I want to put a little twist in it, and so we're gonna call it the Roman Star Empire, and the adjective is just gonna be Roman. So this is who we're going to be playing as, the Roman Star Empire. And so we can go back to the names list, and I've decided that we're going to be going with the ship prefix of SPQR, which is Latin abbreviation that's been used by the Romans of old. And now this is not gonna be a English Latin pronunciation. This is gonna be a German Latin pronunciation. So you do with it whatever you want. But I remember it's being called something like Senatus Populusque Romanus, or something like this. So, anyways, it's concerning the Senate and the people of Rome. So I apologize for the quick cut here. You won't believe it, but I actually never get any calls except for when I record. So, yeah, there we are. Now, I was just showing off my Latin language skills, and I would now like to move on to our names, or our name, well, what is it called? Name lists, I guess? Yeah. Now, it used to be that you only have these 4 humanoid lists you can choose from, but I've actually gotten the humanoid species pack, and that adds 3 more. So 1 for the United Nations of Earth, 1 for the whatever of man, I don't remember, like the military one, and there's a 3rd one that is going to, or that actually fits our purposes far more. That is actually even called SPQR, and it names the planets after, well, it gives a Latin naming scheme, I guess. That's the best way to put it. So they have, Latin names for their leaders, the ships as well, and the fleet is known as classes, which I think is actually the Latin name for fleet. I might change around a few things. One of the great things about Stellaris is actually that you can customize everything. You can rename planets, asteroids, systems, generals, anything you want. And so we're probably gonna make heavy use of this, but for the most part, this is gonna be good enough, I think. Okay, so now let's move on to the traits, which is probably one of the most important things about Stellaris when creating your nation. And I want to start off with a few traits that I think are just human, and then there's going to be a few traits that will be more based on the backstory I've created over the course of CK2, EU4, and Victoria. So let's start off with what I think is just a human trait, and that is adaptive. So this species is highly adaptive when it comes to foreign environments, which to me simply makes sense, because we, on our planet, on planet Earth, we can live anywhere, be it deserts or, frozen deserts or tropical forests, or just, anywhere really, in high mountains and wherever. We find ways to live there and to cultivate the land, and we do that obviously not through a biological adaptation, more a technological, but either way, I think this is a trait that fits the human species quite well. Now, another one that I want to pick is the quick learners. So members of this species are quick to learn from their experiences, and I think this fits humans especially well too, because not only do we learn from our own experiences, but we can also learn from our peers, and maybe even more importantly, from our ancestors. And we just collect information, and then, we can go back and learn from it. Sometimes we still make the same mistakes, but I guess that's a discussion for another time. So let's pick quick learners as well. Now we're gonna have to pick a few bad traits, or at least one bad trait, because we're already in the negative. And the one I want to pick here is wasteful. So members of this species seemingly have no concept of frugality and are prone to useless consumption. Now, I think this is kind of our society right now, but sort of it's been our society all the time. Like, we take what we have for granted often, and so, yeah, we don't really care for it as much as we maybe should. So I don't think I need to go more into this. This is just kind of how I want to play it. And also, I've been looking at the other bad traits that are available, and they don't really seem to fit all that well. So I'm going to go with wasteful here. And those are the 3 that I think are just human. And now I'm going to pick two more that fit more into our history. Now, I was initially thinking about going for decadent here, but we actually did abolish slavery in Victoria too towards the end in 1917, I believe. So it doesn't really fit that much because we would have not as much happiness without having slaves, and it doesn't really fit. So anyways, there's one more that we can go for, and that is deviants. So basically, these people are rebellious in nature and constantly try to challenge the status quo. Now, the reason I picked this is because the Roman Empire has been the strongest empire for a while, but I've never actually shown the conquest. I've never actually shown how we have taken over the world in Hearts of Iron 4. And I imagine that in part, it could be a marriage between the other great empire, the Inca, and that unites the two biggest empires, but that still leaves a lot of other powerful nations in there. And quite likely, it's been a military conquest. And so just what I believe is that there's a lot of people who have, kind of accepted their fate and have submitted to the Roman Empire, but there's still many who, have different ideals, and will try and push that and constantly, kind of rebel against our government, which will actually be quite authoritarian, but we'll talk about this as well. So yeah, that's deviance. And then last but not least, I want to pick one more good trait, and I want to go with traditional. So this is kind of countering the deviant part, and it's basically just showing how important history is to us. So certain aspects of this species cognition makes it predisposed to especially value historical precedents and group unity. And I think this fits very well because while there are many things, like if you're Roman or Greek, you are accepted and, the ways of your ancestors are highly valued. But if you fall out of this group, you're deviant, I guess. So if you're Roman, Greek, or, are in the tradition of this society, then you're highly accepted and that, unites you. Whereas if you're not part of any of these groups, you are a deviant. And this is kind of how I feel like we can represent that authoritarian regime that I'm going to be creating soon. But yeah, that's it for traits for now. Let's move on to the next. The home world is, of course, going to be nothing because I don't actually type anything. It's going to be Earth. The star name will be Sol, and it will be the Sol system. There you go. We are a continental world with wet climate. That's interesting. Okay. Dry, wet, frozen. Okay. But yeah, we're gonna just stay with continental world. That makes the most sense. As for city appearance, I'm gonna go with humanoid. That's fine. Now, as for our government and ethics, now I've already mentioned we're going to be a bit authoritarian. Now, first off, actually, for starters here, I don't think we're in any way fanatics. None of this, would really make much sense. But we are authoritarian, which allows us slavery, at least enslaving aliens, which we will probably use. But we'll have to see. We'll talk about this when it gets there. And it also allows a caste system. But I will talk about this more once we're actually in the game. Other than that, it was kind of difficult for me to choose, but I've decided we're going to go with militarist as well as materialist. And I've basically just gone... Well, we've never really been pacifist, so I've kind of said, this doesn't make much sense. We're not particularly xenophile or xenophobic, so none of this really makes sense. Egalitarian doesn't work once we have authoritarian, and we've never really been... I mean, spiritualistic could have kind of worked, but that was kind of in the earlier stages of the game, like CK2, perhaps EU4, but then definitely in Victoria, we kind of dropped the whole religion thing. So I don't think that makes too much sense, and so, yeah, since I said we're not going to be fanatic in anything, we have to pick two more. So yeah, materialist. It kind of works with our wasteful trait, as well as the, yeah, I think that's basically all I should mention here. This works with wasteful trade. Militarist has just always played a role, I suppose. So, yeah. Now, as for authority, we can go with oligarchic or dictatorial or imperial. And that's honestly what we're going to go for. And this has a nice side effect. If I click on this, you'll see we are a star empire. The Roman star empire. So that's really, really cool. So upon ruler death, a designated successor becomes the new ruler. Imperial governments are similar to dictatorial ones, except that the throne isn't always inherited by a designated successor upon the ruler's death, which is currently still the Paleologus dynasty. Now, as for civics, I've already decided I'm going to go with an aristocratic elite. This society has an entrenched nobility that occupies the upper echelons of society. So, I don't really care too much about the effects this has. I'm more looking at this from a roleplay perspective. So, yeah, this is what we're going to pick, and this kind of plays into the caste system that we'll talk about a little bit later. And then there's obviously many things that we can, we could talk about, but I've, in the end, decided I'm going to go with the efficient bureaucracy. This society is renowned for its efficiency. Not only do the MAC trains run on time, but the colossal bureaucratic apparatus required to run an interstellar nation has been greatly streamlined. And this, to me, just makes sense, because Rome was a highly efficient society and, I guess, nation, you could call it. I mean, they have managed to create the largest empire in history, and obviously we've taken this a step further in the series that, as the series progressed through time. So those are the two civics I want to pick. Obviously the civics can change, and they probably will, but I think none of the other make as much sense as the two I've just picked. So I know I'm babbling on here. I try not to do that too much. As for the advisor voice, I find it funny that you can pick this. We can pick this later as well, but I'm just going to go with the soldier.
This channel is now under military control. Obey all instructions transmitted here and report any insurgent activity to the nearest occupation officer. Have a nice day.
Thank you. I don't know. I just like that. I've checked this out. Doesn't really matter that much, but I just wanted to have it for now. Okay, we've already picked the empire name. We have yet to pick the flag, but I've already decided what we're going to do here as well. We're going to go for human, and now I think this is actually the symbol for the Federation, the Star Trek Federation, but I think it fits incredibly well for our purposes because the laurels obviously represent Rome, and it shows stars. I've been thinking about going for this as well, but I've decided to go against that because Rome is not the center, and it should. So therefore, we're going to go for this. And also, as I said, it fits better with the Star Empire. Now, the background is still a bit annoying, so we'll actually go for regular, and we're going to go and pick purple. Purple of the Byzantines. That's fine. Okay, that looks good. Nothing else we need to do. Then we're going to pick the humanoid ships. This is a new ship. I have actually not experienced them yet, but I think they're part of the species pack, so let's just go with that. And lastly, we're going to have to pick our ruler. Now, Empress and Crown Princes is currently what we have, Emperor and Crown Prince, but that needs to change, and I'm going to pick the title I have chosen in Victoria 2. So we're going to have the Basileus Augustus. So basically, it's the Byzantine Greek name, and then it is the Roman name, Augustus. I gotta be careful here. And then Crown Prince is fine, but it's the Crown Prince Imperial, as that has been suggested. Now, I do not want to start with a male ruler. I want to have a female ruler. Let me quickly check this though. Basileus Augustus, Crown Prince Imperial. And Crown Princess Imperial is fine. And this will be the Basilissa Augusta. There you go. But for to make it a little bit easier, I'm likely going to refer to our leaders as emperors or empresses for the most part. But this is going to be the official title. And this will be Irene the 5th. 5th. We've had various Irenes. Irene the 2nd and Irene the 3rd have been quite prominent. And now, I think Irene the 5th would make sense. We're in the year 2200. And so, yeah, I just wanted to use that name once more. Okay, now, as for phenotype, let's just kind of check this out. We can't really change the color. Now, this looks good. And then room, maybe something that is not really martial, but kind of has, you know, some elegance to it. This looks actually kind of nice. And it does have some purple. Anything else? Yeah. This looks good too. But this? No. Just looking through it all. Oh, this is nice too. But it looks too girly. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, you know what? I think we'll go with this one. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Let's actually save that real quick. Yep, Roman Star Empire has been saved. And yeah, I think that's that. We have a little overview here once again. Yep, everything looks correct. Okay, let's go. There's obviously right, the options. So galaxy size I have on large. I think I'm gonna actually put that on medium. We have 9 empires. Let's increase that a little bit. 2 AIs, advanced AI starts. 2 fallen empires, 2 marauder empires, which is new. Random amount of empires. Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Tech tradition cost. I think we'll leave most of this just the way it is. Mid-game start. Yeah, I don't really know what that changes. AI aggressiveness, we're gonna leave on normal, but difficulty now normal seems to be easy basically. So let's at least change. I don't want to go insane. Very hard. Let's at least go to hard, maybe. Empire placement is going to be random. Advanced neighbors. This controls whether empires with advanced AI starts are permitted to spawn near a player. Having this on may result in less than the specified number of advanced starts being generated. I don't quite understand why. Well, let's turn that. You know what? Here's the thing. I actually have no problem with having an advanced neighbor. Having an advanced neighbor. But what puts me off is that it says we would have less or fewer than specified, and we only specified 2. You know what? Let's turn this off. I don't really feel about this. And yeah, I think the rest is just going to stay the same. I'm not going to be playing Iron Man because I might have to make some changes to the game or whatever. So since I'm not going for achievements, I think this is fine. Yes, let's hit start. I think there's nothing else left to do. Other than mention what I want to do with this. Now, I probably should have mentioned this in the beginning, but perhaps it's been obvious as well. I like to include some roleplay into my series, and so I might make choices that are not the best, but they will have some sort of justification from either a history as the Roman Empire as you know it, or from the history that I've created through CK2, EU4, and Victoria, or it will depend on the traits that our rulers have, and we'll check this out in a second. Now, this is just the regular biography. I'm not going to read that out because I think that doesn't make much sense. Okay, yeah, let's just begin. And one great change they've made, in my opinion, is that you actually start off with something. You have already discovered your home system, and you also already have, some things built. Like you have a few. What's this? You have some mining stations. I find it interesting that there is a mining station on the sun, but there's that. There's one on Venus, which is kind of cool. Yeah, Venus mining station. We've got a construction ship of the Numidia class, the SPQR Macedonia. Then we've got the science ship Agamathameros. Okay. Then we've got 3 corvettes. Marcius, Tinithius, and Malugiansis. I might change these names, but for now, this is fine. Okay, we've got another base on Titan, and then we've got a few more possible things we can build. Okay, well, let's actually start off and check out Basilissa Augusta Irene V. She is an expansionist, so outpost build cost is reduced, and starbase influence cost as well. That's cool. This leader aims to expand their borders. That's pretty clear, and it makes a lot of sense for our starting ruler. And we're also a space miner. Constructor build cost and mining station build cost is reduced. Okay, so we definitely know what we're going to focus on. And we also have an agenda, a new generation. Growth speed and happiness is increased. Okay, we know our civics, where we get extra leader capacity. Government recruitment cost is reduced, and we have more core sector systems, so we can actually have 5 planets right from the beginning, which is really, really cool. Our heir has not yet been determined, but we'll get one as soon as the game starts, and yeah, that's fine. Now, let's have a quick look at Earth. Right now, we have, Capital World, Governing Ethics Attraction. That's fine. We have an unrest of 12. Unhappy slaves. So yeah, that's something we're definitely going to have to change. But let's check out our governor first. Gaius Martinius. He is giving us slave mineral production. Can we check him out? So he has an iron fist. Slave food production, slave mineral production. But as I've mentioned, this sort of caste system that we currently have on Earth doesn't actually make all that much sense. So basically, pops that are put on either mining stations or on food producing units are automatically enslaved, and that just doesn't make sense because we have officially abolished slavery in 1917. And so the first thing I'm going to do right now is actually change our government or reform. I actually don't know, is that reform government? No, that's not the one. Where do we do that? Probably here somewhere. Policies and edicts. So we're going to change food stockpiling, slavery. So right now slavery, no, that's fine. Purge, initial border status. That's not the one. No, what else have we got? We've got planets and sectors. Species, maybe? Set rights. Yeah, I think that's the one. Citizenship, we have the caste system, and we're going to go and change it to full citizenship. All humans are equal, and, well, not truly, but most of them are equal. So, yeah, pops are free to be politically active, and the species can produce leaders, whereas, yeah, we don't have this. Some humans are more equal than others. No, they're all equal. I think that's fine. That's the first thing we're going to change. So we should have no slaves, which sort of makes this trait, the Iron Fist, a little bit useless, but I think, you know, that's fine. We have immediately gotten rid of all the unrest, so that's perfect. Okay, now, we have a few armies, 3 defense armies. That's fine for now. I don't think we need to build any more of that. And then we've got our spaceport. Now, this has been changed from usual Stellaris. You no longer have the spaceport right next to the planet, but you have one for your system. And so, well, actually, you still have a spaceport at the planet, but that one can only build civilian ships, construction and science ships, whereas the one you have in your system, the starport, that actually gets to build the military ships. So, we could build some, don't think we should immediately. Build defensive platforms, none of this really matters right now. We have a shipyard here and crew quarters. Okay. Can we upgrade? Okay, we already have a shipyard. I can build another one? A shipyard maybe build may build one ship at a time in parallel with other I see. So we can build this up with shipyards and then just build more ships at once. Okay, anchorage. Fleet anchorages are necessary to support the growth of our navy. So that's giving us naval capacity. Then more weapon slots to the starbase. Okay, that's cool. Civilian docking area for energy credits. And then there's also the possibility of buildings, crew quarters, which, what does that do? Provides accommodation and support for spaceship crews. Okay, docked ship upkeep, minus 25. Cool. And we can also get food, storage capacity, weapons range. So there's a lot of things you can do. Basically, you can build up these star bases to be just monsters. Like an entire fleet could be destroyed by a single really well-balanced starbase. But this will all happen in the future. For now, I think it makes sense to build maybe... Well, we can only build one more Corvette. So I think that's going to be fine for now. And we will check and see if we can... Yeah, we can go for some more mining. Do we actually have enough? We don't. Okay, let me see. Maybe I can stop that. Yeah, and we get our money back. Okay, let's actually start by building up our economy first. So let's go ahead and build a mining station here. And let's check out our research as well. So we've got Publius Acroleus as our physics researcher. And he's an expertise in particles. Now, what I'm going to be doing here is, right now there's no particle technology we could research, so I'm just going to pick whatever I think is best, which is actually going to be the administrative AI, because it overall increases our research speed. But if there ever comes a time where we have a, particles research, we're going to pick that immediately. So basically, I'm going to leave the scientists to go after their, preferred fields of research. So yeah, let's go with administrative AI for now. Then we've got Nonus Novelius, another male, okay, and he has the focus on new worlds. So once again, nothing we can go for. Defense army damage. There are many alien empires who would gladly seize our worlds. Now, so far we have not met any, so I don't know if we should go for this. Off-world trading company or a biolab. Studying the different forms of life that appear on our world helps us better understand ourselves and the life that surrounds us. Could go for this, but I think I'm actually going to go with ground defense planning, because, well, we don't know if there's any other, species out there. We are militarist, so I feel like that's something we would go for. And then lastly, we've got Myoheus, 31-year-old. How old are you, by the way? 44, 31. Okay. She's resilient. Okay, so she's got extra lifespan. Interesting. So we're basically just gonna pick whatever. Engineering facility. I think that engineering facility are specialized institutions generating additional engineering research. Okay. Never mind. Combination of different metals and ceramics that results in strong armor, or mineral storage capacity. Mining network. Yeah, I think we might want to go for this, right? We are a space miner. Mining station. But then again, mining station, space miner, that has nothing to do with geothermal fracking. I think we're gonna go... Yeah, you know what? Fine. Let's build this. That's fine. It doesn't really matter all that much. Okay, so this is our research, and then let's check out who's in control of our science ship right now. Lucia Sionis. She is also resilient. Okay, so we have very resilient women. Let's get out of here and check out the world by the space. Yeah, one thing I should mention, for those of you who don't know, there used to be 3 different FTL methods, but they have all been replaced by the hyperlink. So there used to be hyperlink travel, there used to be warp travel, and wormhole travel, and they've been all scrapped, and now there's only hyperlink now. But you can still kind of go for the wormhole travel, but this is something we're going to be discovering as the game goes on. For now, let's see, where are we going to explore first? Do we go north or south? I think we're going to go north and just kind of explore. No, I think we're going to survey the system. Yeah, and I guess I could link a few more, but I think this is fine for now. Okay, yeah, and anything else we need to do? No, I think we've got pretty much everything under control. Let's do look back at the surface and see if there's anything. Yeah, I think we're gonna clear the sprawling slums that we have here and build one of the mining networks once we can. Okay, that is that. I think that's all we have to do for now, and then yeah, we can go forward and kind of see how things develop. Crown Prince Imperial Agrippa V is the new heir to our empire. Let's check him out immediately. There he is. He is a frontier spirit. Colony ship build cost. Oh, that's very nice. And he's an investor, giving us more energy credits. Leader is a shrewd economist capable of maximizing financial potential. Cool. So quite different from Irene, but so she's going to be focused on expanding, but not necessarily colonizing any planets, whereas the Crown Prince will want to colonize. That's cool. I like that. Okay, we can go forward a little bit faster as well, and we will actually, you know what we'll do? We'll follow our first science ship as it explores into the unknown. Oh, that's kind of cool that it says unknown, actually. Okay, let's zoom in here. Okay, I'm still not entirely sure how you properly set this up. Can we not follow this? I think we can follow this. Ah, there you go. That's what I meant. Perfect. And boom. We get to
Field engineers have cleared a blocker.
check out Alpha Centauri. Perfect. Okay, I don't think we need to
Construction complete.
watch all of this. Okay, what's happening right now? Aspicua, Macedonia completed construction of a mining station. I think I'm actually going to have to slow down to a more normal speed. And we have found an anomaly. Okay, impressive structures litter Alpha Centauri 5th surface, practically begging for some archaeological work. Now, if we research this right now, we have a huge risk. Due to scientist level being lower. Okay, so we'll leave it be for now. Once Lucia has improved, has learned a bit more, we're going to return here. Okay, so there seems to be a planet already that we could potentially settle, but that will not be our priority for now. I think even though we have the focus on mining and expansion, we will still kind of try and build up our home system first. So let's build a research station, and then I think we're going to go ahead and build a mining station here as well. Oh wait, can I not set this up? Ah, there you go. Okay, perfect. So we'll do that first, and then I think we're going to build our first outpost here, Alpha Centauri, where we're also likely going to have our first colony. But this is, you know, still all speculation. We have to actually, well, we have to actually survey the system first before we can make these assumptions. Okay, this is the anomaly that I will ignore for now, but we'll get back to that later on. Alright, yeah, so for now, I think this may even be a good place to stop. We have set out to explore, and yeah, we have our first orders in place. For now, there's not much to do, so I'm gonna say thank you so much for watching this first episode. It's been a little bit longer. Next ones will be a little bit shorter, but obviously there was a lot of setting up to do. Anyways, yeah, I'll leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.